Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our show. I'm your producer, Jack Tunney, and we're coming to you live on tape from the Sandwich Studio in Oceanside, California. It is January 28th, 2021, and we have a great show for you today. Our sandwich will cover the Reddit run on hedge fund shorting that has caused controversy. Before we get to that, go like and subscribe to our channel, and make sure you comment any question below. Now, without further ado, the hosts of the PB&J podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the PB&J podcast. I'm Peter Whitehead.
And my name is Brandon Blackman. And as we always do, we are going to start this episode off with reading some questions straight from the audience. So I'm pretty excited for this because this one comes straight from my mama, my one and only, my favorite.
Mama.
She, I don't know where this comes from. I wish I would have gotten like a warning because I didn't even see this. This is new to me. She asked you personally. This goes out to @Peter Whitehead.
Yes.
My mom says, "My question, Peter, what's your new hairdo about? Like, what's it about?"
Yeah, what's up with it? So this was the episode that I had the ponytail in. That's probably why she's asking that question.
Oh, it wasn't even the wild.
It wasn't
Maine one.
it wasn't the Jesus Main episode. It was the
You're
one
gonna
before
love
that, I
one,
think.
Mama.
But yeah, I mean, basically, ever since I was a kid, I liked having long hair. Like, there's pictures of me, pretty young, with, some glorious locks and things like that. One reason or another, people in my life always made me cut it. One that like really comes to mind is my debate coach. When I was in high school, she thought it was like unprofessional for me to have long hair, and it was pretty sad. But she was right. Like at the end, like I won more with shorter hair, so she was right about that. So like and then girlfriends and even my mom and various people in my life, made
The
me
mature
cut it over
people
time.
in your life.
Yeah, the people who know best.
Yes, not me.
But then when quarantine started, I had like just cut my hair in February, and then quarantine started, and then I was just like, well, there's no barbershops open. I don't have to go to any date parties, right? Because there's no date parties happening anymore. I don't have to look good. Like, no bosses to impress, right?
True.
So, I let it grow out, and then it got to a stage where I could put it into a ponytail, and I was like, why not? And that, like, the ponytail thing was not something that always appealed to me, but when I was in high school, I was like pretty into like revolutionary era time stuff, and they all wore ponytails and things. So that's where the ponytail comes from. It's a good question.
Wait, Revolutionary era, as in like Revolutionary War, 1776.
Yeah,
John Adams ponytail.
how they have those ponytails. Yeah.
I thought, he means like the 1960s. Oh, that's super cool.
No, I literally mean.
Yeah. We should do like a hair segment more often. I like fashion segments.
Yeah,
media.
I don't got a lot of fashion myself, as people would
Fashion
say.
politics, more like.
Oh,
do it.
God. Oh no.
But yeah,
Let's ride the train.
I get a lot of mixed opinions on the hair, actually. Like, there are some individuals who are like, never cut it again, and there are individuals who are like, cut it right now, and like let me cut it right now, type of thing. So I'm kind of just riding with it and seeing where it goes. Thank you for your question,
Yeah, that's
Lisa.
cool. That's cool. I'm a long hair advocate. I stand with you for as long as possible.
Yeah, we're long hair boys. Here,
Yeah.
let me take my headphones off and just show it off a little bit.
Okay, I don't know.
Yes.
You can show.
This is what the people
Keep it
want.
quick. Just show it off.
This is what the people
Let him
want.
see. Put it back on. Let's get
You
through.
know.
Oh, he's. Oh
And
wow.
then it
Oh
goes
wow.
back. It goes back into the pony.
It goes back. That's
So-
you putting on your red coat right now to fight against the. You're
I'd
putting
be
on your-
putting on a blue coat, my friend.
You're putting
I'm
on
a
the red
Yankee
coat.
through and through. And
Well,
even
that's-
before I was a Yankee, I was a Scot. So fuck the British. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Mom, for the question. I love you. I love whenever you get to, get some time to watch. It's not often, but whenever you do, you always tell me what you think, and I love that.
we
So,
appreciate you.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna.
thanks for
Absolutely
creating
blessed.
this one.
Yay.
Absolutely blessed.
So let's get into the show. We are going to start off with our first bite, as we always do. I've said that twice now, as we always do.
As we always do.
But this is actually a recap of a story we covered last week. As things are always developing with the COVID-19 situation, things change pretty much daily, especially as vaccines are coming out,
Mhm.
new administration, new policies. So things are looking up in some areas, and in other areas, I would say things are looking confusing. Yeah, do
I
you
would
like
agree.
that? Do you like that?
Yeah, that's
Because last week we discussed how LA has become like a epicenter of coronavirus worldwide, one of the worst areas,
mhm.
if not the worst. I actually found out that Portugal has become like worse per capita.
Yeah.
Um, but Los Angeles is still like an epicenter, and we've got like more than 300 deaths a day minimum. Our hospitals are filled up in our area, and so to us, it's very shocking that Governor Newsom came out and decided to lift the statewide stay-at-home orders. Um, of course, as a headline, that can be extremely shocking, extremely confusing. But that's when you have to get into discussion of federal, laws and versus the state laws versus the county laws and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to say, in some areas, it does make sense why they would do this, and it's in some areas it's really, really frightening because we did have one of the best lockdowns, and then we removed it. Some would say a little early,
I
and
would say.
yeah, and then here we are again where we had a lockdown that was definitely not as strong, a lot less people following orders, a lot less businesses following orders, and now we're going into another no lockdown period. So, why? Let's talk about why they did that. Unless you have something to say before.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
You're saying what I would say, so.
cool. So the main reason for the lockdowns, the main stat that they looked at, the main data point would be ICU projections. What that is how many how available their ICU is like today, this week, and how it's going to look in a month, how it's going to look in 2 months, in a few weeks. So actually, what they were looking at for this exact decision was the ICU projections in February. So they think in February, in certain areas, it'll get better. But when you talk about what they think is better, it's like, oh, the Bay Area has gone from 10% availability to 15%. So now we can reopen. Sacramento's gone from 10% to like 25% availability. And of course, LA, SoCal, Orange County, these places are pretty much still at 0%.
Yeah.
Pretty much still at like 5%. Like awful, awful numbers.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess really the question is like, is that the right system to use to monitor whether or not there should be a lockdown?
um, of course, you can say, well, you can answer both ways. You can say that, of course, it's going to be easier for the counties to decide laws more specific for their county and things like that. But I think the great thing about federalism and having a unified state government to, gather all of these different areas is to have the strong fists to have the national policy, even though it's a state, right? It's the same thing with the country. We need at least national guidelines for each state to follow, for each county to follow, so we at least have some form of uniformity.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that screwed us this entire time, right? Like we have one city doing
One thing.
amazing, the next, like I'll drive over. Like it was happening with New York. People would drive from New York to New Jersey just to have a different lockdown law. So of course it is better, but it's better that they have more autonomy to decide what they want for their area. But also it's going to be more dangerous in the long term if they're unable to like unify.
Do you think that some of this comes from the political pressure that Gavin Newsom is facing regarding the lockdown?
I've never seen anybody face so much political pressure.
Yeah.
The recall campaigns have been, steaming for like a few years now.
Yeah.
But since the pandemic, they've really had like their charge, their cause, their thesis of this guy is stealing our jobs, he's locking us down, he's not helping us, he's only giving money to his donors,
Uh-huh.
he's having these wine parties and things like that.
Wine parties.
Something that I've eventually kind of saw the okayness of, but some of these causes are now starting to offend the left because the left is for lockdowns, they're for the stimulus, they're for all these things, and Gavin Newsom seems to just be in favor of reopening, opening schools, getting back to business as usual, without doing the work that and this is what some people are saying. They actually released stimulus checks. California $600 stimulus checks. They're doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom announced that, which is something that I'm like, okay, so you are still giving things to the left, and you're working to like do it all.
Well, he's in a very interesting spot because, you know, he's easily the most powerful governor in the country, right? Being the governor of California.
For sure. I would even say that like just with like the media hype around his name.
Yeah.
He can capitalize off of that.
Yeah. But he's like not very well liked here, even by leftists. And I think it's interesting, you know, from a political perspective to see the decisions that he makes, because he's dealing with a predominantly like we're predominantly liberal here in California.
Yeah.
Yet there is a very vocal, very strong minority here that is conservative. That wants certain things, demands certain things, you know, does things like recall Newsom campaigns.
And has a semblance of power.
Oh,
like
yeah, some power.
Political, economic, just cultural power within like communities and stuff.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting, like, just as much as I find it interesting what Biden's doing right now, like, I think it's a similar level of interesting that the state politics around Newsom and the actions he's taking regarding COVID-19, because it's such a controversial, like, area of
everything he does, someone can complain about, right?
Yeah.
And especially when the situation has gotten so out of hand, every single thing is going to be an issue. Like people are expecting Biden to be able to snap COVID away. Of course, like it's kind of become like a joke, you know, expecting him to be able to wish it away. But
I am Iron Man.
Those demands are unrealistic. And when people say we're in for like a dark winter, that's real. Like we aren't going to see hope until we get like massive vaccine rollout. We're not going to see hope until we see the other side of this, which we will see. Like, it is a real thing, but we aren't there yet.
Yeah.
It's beginning.
Yeah, so I guess then the question is, you know, how long does this do we stay open under this specific parameter? Like, are we gonna is there gonna be another lockdown? Are we gonna?
I hope not. Like, you know, like I hope not. But even saying that, I know it's like.
How about the boys back there? You got any opinions?
Considering we are doing the worst in preventing COVID cases almost in the entire world, I think maybe opening up isn't the best idea.
That's
Yep.
very well put.
I think Jack Tarman can join me in on this consensus. We deliver pizza. And,
I'm in there too.
There's people who don't even care about their families when they're in their own home.
Yeah.
So God forbid they go outside.
Yeah.
So, you know, it always just comes down to the one man, the one woman who choose to put other people's lives ahead of their own, or whatever.
Behind their own.
No, in front of their own. I mean, when they put the mask on, they're not thinking about, oh, I'm wearing this to protect myself.
Oh, you're talking about the good individual.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's me. Sorry. I wear the mask so that I can't get other people sick, because that's what the science has proved.
Yeah.
And even I have a personal story that I won't get into, but masks work. Don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Wear a goddamn mask.
Wear a goddamn mask.
I'm not going to force you, but, you know,
not gonna force you. Well, Joseph Biden is
on federal property.
Get those down.
God forbid.
Somebody take the Biden
God
glasses.
forbid Biden wants everyone to protect themselves.
You gotta get at least one in every episode, you know. It's important for people to remember their savior,
Joseph Robinette. Oh, did you like the name of that episode, dude? Joseph Robinette Biden's Cabinet Horizon.
That's pretty good.
Robinette Biden Cabinet Come on, man.
Just drop my.
You're watching this pod for a reason.
Yeah, dude, we do watch. We have clever jokes. You know, wordplay.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yeah, but that's really the first bite.
We kind of have a fat first, not a fat first bite, a fat sandwich a
Yeah.
meaty boy.
Yeah, this is extra meat. This is an Arby's sandwich.
We think, well, I don't know about what Peter feels exactly. I personally think that this could end up being one of the biggest stories of 2021, depending on how the powers that be react to it and such. And of course, we are going to talk about the GameStop fiasco, the Reddit fiasco, the Wall Street bets, all of these
Yep.
names. But I feel like we should just start off with a basic summary of, just definitions of what happens, just so you don't get lost, like I do.
So, yeah, well, the financial market's really confusing. Like, you look at Wall Street and you look at stock market, like the stock market, they're these large, confusing beasts that most people don't have a real understanding of. And most Americans, or well, not most, a significant margin of Americans don't actually own any piece of the stock market. The statistics is that in America, only 55% of us own stock. And of that group, only the wealthy Americans, so the top 10% of Americans, they own 84% of all stock. So mostly it's a rich man's game.
Yeah.
Mostly. And
Especially when you consider just how much money what 84% is. Like,
yeah,
that's
it's
a
a
lot.
ton of money. It's a ridiculous amount of money. So basically what I want to do is like describe what shorting is, because that's what started this whole situation. In the stock market, as we know, an individual or a hedge fund, and Brandon will get into hedge funds a little bit more later, can purchase a stock in a company. When you buy stocks, the hope is that either in the short term and the long term they will make a profit for you, right? You will be able to make money on a sell, right? That's called going long. So you buy a stock, you buy like Facebook stock, right? When Facebook was coming out, and then you wait on it, and now you have like this huge portion of the stock that you bought cheap, but now it's way more expensive because Facebook is like this amazing new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you sell that stock, you get your money, you reinvest. That's the typical process.
That's the normal way.
The untypical process is called shorting, or a short sell. Shorting is essentially when an investor borrows shares and immediately sells them, hoping to pick them up again at a lower price, returning them to the lender and pocketing the difference. So essentially, what they're doing is they're taking the stock that's in the portfolio, they're selling it, betting that it will go down, right? Instead of betting that it will go up, which is what you would do when you go long on a stock. Betting that it will go down, and then selling that, and then rebuying that stock when it's low, in order to get a profit of the difference between the two prices, right? The reason that shorting is more dangerous has to do with the amount of risk that you take on. So when you go long, the maximum amount of money that you could lose, the maximum amount of losses that you could take, is the amount of money that you put in, right? So if you buy $100 stock, the most you could lose is $100.
Yes.
Right? When you go short on a stock, right? Say you purchase a stock at $100, and it goes up. There's no limit to the amount of money that you could lose on that short. That's why they're more dangerous.
Because the bottom isn't the limit.
Yeah. So market theory is based off of exponential growth, right? Like that there will always be an upward trend.
Yeah, that's common.
And there are downs, but always the market will recover and there will be an upward trend.
Yes.
So if forever the market is going up and you bet that particular stock is going to go down, your losses theoretically could be infinite.
Perfect explanation.
That wouldn't happen, of course, because like once it gets to a certain place, you would just buy the stock, take the loss, and end the short. But theoretically, if you kept the short and the stock kept going up and up and up, you could lose an infinite amount of money.
But if it goes down, what happens?
So
like we want it to.
yeah,
If
so
I was one of those guys,
if
we
you were
want it
shorting,
to go down,
you do want it to go down. I think the best way to probably do this is to like give an example, because like
give your example. Go for it. Let's see what the audience.
I think this is a good example. You know, but whatever. Brandon disagrees, but whatever.
It's fine.
So I'm gonna read this. I wrote this. I think it's pretty good. So let's say there is a stock, right? We'll say Modelo stock, because I'm still holding out hope that we're gonna get a Modelo sponsorship. Hit us up. Modelo stock is $100. We'll use $100 again because that's an easy amount. However, since Corona beer has been doing so good since the pandemic, makes everyone want to make funny jokes, and drink Corona beer during the coronavirus pandemic. I predict that Modelo stock will go down. I call up my savvy financial broker and tell him that I would like to short Modelo. My broker finds a stock in one of his clients' portfolios, borrows it, sells it at $100. If, and that's a big if there, the stock goes down to, say, $50 or something like that, the broker buys the stock again, or covers it, as the financiers would say, with the $100 he just got, but turns a profit of $50 for me.
So you get to borrow it, and then you get to trade with.
Yeah. So well, you're not borrowing it. Technically, the broker is borrowing it. But so the broker has like a portfolio. He's got all these clients. Right. One of them has a Modelo stock. He goes and he finds it.
Nice.
Sells that stock at $100. And
Nice.
you're taking all the risk. The individual who owns the stock is not taking the risk. Okay? The risk that individual is taking is the long risk of, this stock might go up and down and eventually I will get a payout, right? So they're not taking the risk. You are basically taking the risk for them to use their stock to try to make a quick profit.
Yeah.
As it drops.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also you'll have like broker fees and stuff. So
yeah, that's kind of mixed in with just what brokers generally do.
Yes.
With some nefariousness on top.
Well, I don't know if it's nefarious per se, but it's like the less kosher way
it's not the typical way.
Well, I wouldn't even say that though. Like shorting is a very common technique in market, like
Well, yeah, because I mean, if I really don't believe in a business, I should be able to bet that, right?
Yeah.
It's when you force it. It's when you make it
right.
happen.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that when we get into your section, when it's like they're like, we're gonna short this company and then we're gonna make it like fail, or we're gonna collectively not short this company as to break out or to kill the shorters who did, and things like that. So there's like some groupthink that I think is a little like semi-nefarious, not illegal, but a little nefarious for sure, manipulative. So that's what happens if the stock does go down, right? You cut a profit and the stock returns to its original owner.
And you just take your little percentage.
Yeah, you take like whatever the $40-50 that you made on the short.
Cool.
Right. But what happens if the stock doesn't go down?
Oh no.
So my prediction was poor, right? The Corona jokes were not enough to lessen Modelo stocks, and in fact the opposite happens, because as it turns out, Americans are stupid, and 38% of them reported that they wouldn't buy Corona beer following the outbreak of the pandemic. Also, we all know that Modelo is the superior cerveza, so I just made a poor bet here, right? Basically, if I short Modelo stock and Modelo stock rises, as it rises, the more it rises, my losses also increase. So if I shorted the stock for $100 and it becomes a $150 stock, I've lost $150.
Because one, you still owe somebody, right?
You owe the 100.
Yeah.
And now it's an additional 50.
Wow. So like, not only is this one company in a bad place, you put your stakeholders, your investors, you put your other investments at stake.
Yes. So that's why shorting is dangerous. So I wouldn't say it's nefarious, but it is certainly dangerous, and it's a riskier way of doing financing than going long on a stock.
Yeah, it's especially risky when you consider that some of these huge companies that, play around in stocks and banks and stuff, they also, they play with your credit, and they usually also work with your insurance, your pensions, things like that. So
401ks?
It's not only 401ks, it's not only dangerous just to, a CEO's paycheck or whatever. It can be dangerous to your average person who just has investments in the business, and that's why it is dangerous, and that's why it's just a bigger deal than, oh, these guys, they're making jokes. It's an internet meme just to donate in GameStop. You can say it's that, or you can say it's people who are learning what the system is actually made of and what it's good for, and how people who know these tactics that I could never know, once they figure them out, they use it for their own advantage, and that's a problem to some people.
Oh, for sure.
And
It's go. No, go ahead. You're in the middle of a thought.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just gonna say. That's why I think it's important to try to understand and relate to these people, and then not just discount them. And I was just gonna get right into it.
Yeah, you should go. Yeah, because that's basically it. Any questions on the shorts? Did I do a good job?
You did a great job, Peter Whitehead. Well
Thank you.
done.
I also think you did a great job.
I need validation.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Peter Whitehead. People are still not gonna understand what short means. Are you kidding me? Like
I think I did
I've
pretty good.
tried my best to try and become, affiliated with stock exchange and trying to get, a little more mentally like fortified to do things like that, because it's a lot of things to look at and just to be comfortable with. Their average Joe is gonna have a hard time, but the people that want to know, they'll watch that segment again and they'll get it.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense. It's a strange thing, especially when you have a very basic understanding of the stock market. I'm going to buy this stock, I'm going to sell this stock. Like it's a strange thing in financing. But definitely used quite a bit, and definitely dangerously so.
What this is, as a minimum, like this moment in general, like the entire thing, is at least a warning sign, or just like a flashing sign. Look at the stock market. You can do this too. Like people it only takes $100. Like someone invested $6 and made $100. Like,
yeah,
even if you don't care
that's
about,
still a great return. That's not going to change your life, but that's still a great return.
Even if you don't care about all the politics, all of the economic effects, like this is simply a power to the people story. Like, it's a simple community of people on this website. It goes by the name of Wall Street Bets. It's kind of famous on the internet for being kind of just the butt of a joke, which is so great that it's now this headline, CNN, MSNBC, everywhere.
It's got all the rich people crying.
Yeah.
It's got them crying on camera.
And it's great because it's not like you hear a community of Wall Street sleuths and you think, oh, it's just a bunch of people who have money, the same people who have always been profiting. And I think the difference here is that it's really a range. You have that 35-year-old who made it big and is a millionaire and stuff. But you also have like the 17-year-old Redditor who, sure, maybe he came from like a rich family, but he's still a 17-year-old kid who like made all of these decisions himself, learned all the research, and like actually, worked for it. So it's not like these like kids who are on the Wall Street Bets are the same kind of like manipulators as the hedge funds or the people who are trying to short by millions.
There
and
is a lot of
millions.
false equivalency going on with it. I think
Exactly.
I think that what they did wasn't like perfectly honest, and I think it wasn't
in a free market.
Yeah,
Like,
at the end of the day, right? Like these are individuals who decided to do something. They did it together, which is like kind of the sketchy part, but they used like their market power. It wasn't like they stole money
yeah, and
or
it was
hacked
basic
something.
research.
I know there was people saying that there was like a hack going on. There was no hack. Like
I heard somebody say it was Russia.
yeah, like
Nah, dude.
there was no hack. This is just like a bunch of heads on Reddit that like decided it would be the right thing to do to screw the hedge fund managers.
Literally what it came from, there's of course multiple origins. It doesn't just come from one source, and nothing ever does. But there were a few articles that came out towards the end of 2020 that were like literally titled the most heavily shorted companies of 2020. So these Wall Street Reddit guys, Wall Street Bets is the name of the subreddit. They know what that means and they use that information to their advantage and decided to come together and just boost the stocks and just invest, rise the price. And basically, they just created momentum behind a dead stock. And
Yeah.
it's more than just one stock, too. I know a lot of people were just talking about GameStop, but they were also talking about Bed Bath and Beyond, AMC.
Yeah, theaters.
These companies to us that are like dead, right? But these companies still have value. They still have use if people want them to have use. They have value if people want them to have value. The only reason people don't go to AMC anymore is because they have Amazon, they have other options. But if I decide that I want to invest in GameStop and I want to bring it back to life, that's my prerogative. It's my money, it's my paycheck. I can do it what I want.
My stimmy.
Yeah, so for people to say that you can't do that is, but I'm gonna get
Where's
back
it
into
at?
that.
Biden.
It's coming, don't worry.
More about the GameStop numbers. GameStop actually was only at $3 this past summer, and it went from like a really slow, normal decline. I'm sure any gamers know GameStop has definitely gone out of style, but
Used to be the hype, though. I remember like 2009, 2010, dude.
Dude, they had those pre-order deals.
Pre-order, you show up at midnight for Halo Reach, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I saw those guys.
and
I
this-
was that guy.
This could be something we can talk about maybe later, but GameStop could come back easily. Like, it only is lame because there's no effort and no money behind it to make it cool again.
Yeah, and I think that they could make a transition to some degree that would like fit the modern business model as well.
Easily.
There's so many things that they could do. Like it's not like people say things like dead company or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. Like I not every company turns it around, certainly.
Yeah.
But there is ability for that to happen. Especially when people put capital into it, like they're doing
And
right now.
this is real money.
yeah,
like,
it's actual money.
like before this happened, when their price was only about $3 per trade, their total stock price was only $300 million, which is normal. I mean, I don't know if that's normal or not, but after all of this growth, which is it's always changing, so a lot of the numbers always change, but it's at least a 300% growth from $3, and some trades went to like a peak of like $300 on Wednesday.
It's more than that. It's 3,000%, isn't it?
I saw 1,200%. I saw all sorts of percents. When it's always changing. Every article says something else.
Yeah, true. But
Massive percentage.
it's massive because a 100% gainage on that stock would be a $6 stock.
from a total price of 300 million to now it's 32 billion. Total stock price.
Yeah, no, that's in the thousands for
It's
percentile.
nuts.
Yeah,
That's like unreal.
yeah.
And it's real money though. Like it'd be like if all four of us put $4 together and gave it to, it's the same thing. So if GameStop wanted to, they could, do like a stock buyback or something, or try to sell their stocks. And I don't know exactly the processes that they have available to them, but this capital is real. They can really, really do it. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, it is. I think it's significant too for just like the average Joe, right? Like the average individual now realizes that there is collective buying power.
Yeah. If we want to save a company, we could, right?
Yeah, any company, really,
Like-
right? Because if we were all just like, hey, let's throw $100 at this, like 1,000 people.
That's $1 million, right?
No, $100,000. Where's your what is this math?
Calculators.
He's out here 300%.
You guys better move on until you guys embarrass yourselves with the math.
But like it's inspiring because like immediately everything, like all of the news channels, like CNBC the same night was doing panels with like their heads on fire, like unable to understand what this was. We've got like billionaires on TV like freaking out because they've had investments either in the hedge funds that are super invested in GameStop and these other companies, or they just this capture of the stock market by the people is just shocking that we as people can understand these complex topics. You know, Peter has a great grasp on it. I'm learning. You're learning right now as you watch, and like we're doing
Also,
it.
I should say I don't have a great grasp on it. I have like a pretty good grasp. It's I'm no financier,
A layman's grasp, if you will.
but a little bit better than a layman's
But we could
grasp,
all
but
do it, right? You know,
yeah.
gaining the capital and being able to use the money is a different story. But simply getting the information and seeing this example, whether or not the repercussions come into effect, which we'll talk about later, people are going to learn and people are going to take power into their own hands. So, like, I'm interested in the stock market now. You know, if I had like a few $100s, I would have definitely put it on when it was 100 because I was there.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, I still have no idea how it works, but I want to get to some of these hilarious reactions that have been going on. I would just, if you're interested, just spend your night, just get yourself like a CNBC compilation and just see what they were talking about, because not only was there
What was that?
there was fear,
Yeah,
there was
I saw tabs up on the screen there.
it was not in the recording.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was not in the recording.
Let's hope something else wasn't in the recording.
But not only are they frightened, they are seriously, seriously lost and confused.
Yeah, they're like, yeah. It's kind of like the reverse 2008.
Oh my goodness. I mean,
They're just like, all these financiers are like, we don't understand. We don't get it.
because like, so could we just boost?
What he's doing is
Who was that? Dude?
could
Beginning of the video.
Oh, okay.
yeah, but transition it.
Yeah, go ahead, put it up.
No, yeah, I know.
So this guy right here, Leon Cooperman.
Twitter, oh my gosh.
Leon Cooperman is a famous man, famous for crying on NBC, famous for being. This guy was actually arrested and charged for insider trading, and sued for billions. So whenever he says poor people shouldn't be allowed to gather their money and use their influence to affect trading, he is literally the same guy that used insider influence to affect trading and make money off of it.
Let's see what
They're
he
all
has
terrible
to
people.
say.
Yeah, just
the reason the market is doing what it's doing is
also sorry.
people are
he's
sitting at
yelling.
home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept.
Oh.
It's just a way of attacking wealthy people. And,
We have pause it
I
right
think
now.
it's inappropriate.
A
God
way of
forbid.
attacking wealthy people. God forbid that we could attack wealthy. God forbid that the average Joe with $150 extra in his bank account. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I just thought we'd sit there and look at his face for a little longer.
Oh, I love his face. I'm glad you liked it too.
It's just so.
But that's a great way to put it. We suffer so much aggression, propaganda,
Yeah.
literal violence from the elites and people that benefit from Wall Street. And when we get one lucky break, like I wouldn't even say this was like a concerted effort, right?
It's the bully that gets hit and then is like cries about it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the bully that built the system.
Yeah, like built the fist that punched him and then
Right. Right. And I mean, this is not new, like you said.
I'm
like,
sorry, I shouldn't laugh at misfortune, but come on now. You're gonna say that really on national television? You're gonna say that?
It's illegitimate. I mean, another example is the insider trading we saw literally from Congress this year with Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue.
Yep.
And of course, they didn't face any legal repercussions,
They lost their election,
but they did lose their elections. So
Where's my glasses?
it is a win, So we can obviously see that the people see these kinds of actions done by people in power, literal people in Congress and the government. I mean, we talked before the show about the 2008 housing crisis and how similar the energy of it is. Oh, wait, you just mentioned it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. And finally, people are fighting back. And it is amazing. And the only difference between like what Reddit did and what Wall Street does is that this movement was actually natural. Wall Street Bets has been growing on that website for years. growing member by member. They don't have any crazy ad campaign on TV appealing to billionaires to like do that. And then compare that to
Life is good, but it could be better.
compare that to like some like McDonald's, you know, they spend $10 billion on global advertising every year to increase their profits, increase their, you know, their spread around the globe, and right. So which is actually worse? These natural people who are just interested in Wall Street and they just formed a community. Like it's literally like formed just for advice and stuff. Like that was the root cause. This is like a lucky break. Is that bad, or is this unhealthy food company that, you know, for the vegans out there, I'll shout you out, they're killing animals and polluting the ground, all of these terrible things. And these are the same people that are mad at the Reddit guys. It's nuts. It's simply nuts. Like
Unfucking justified, if you will.
yeah, it's illegitimate.
Mm-hmm.
The best difference though is that the winnings are actually being handed out to the little guy instead of the big guy this time. So it's a win. And
Yep, for the little guy, for now.
now let's get into the repercussions. Now let's get into, so that would be like the Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the first few days of to the moon, big growth, hold it, hold your stocks.
Hold it.
We like the stocks.
I'm cold.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing something to hold.
Uh,
To the moon, to the stars, hold them.
Ad Astra.
Until Robinhood came in, and they've gone back and forth with us a few times, so I don't know what the exact status of this is as we're recording or as this is being uploaded. But for a certain period of time on Thursday today, Robinhood blocked all trades, blocked all new buying of GameStop, of AMC, and other meme stocks. I don't know. What are your quotations for
Volatile.
meme stocks?
Stonks.
Yeah, because I could get into the way Robinhood works. It's kind of like that broker situation we were talking about, how they have like a pool of stocks and you can buy them and trade them and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in reality, if someone is trying to buy 1,000 stocks through Robinhood may not be able to logistically complete that order.
Well,
but also Robinhood's business model is to be able to complete orders and complete trades and, you know, run that business.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
So much for Robinhood, right? When
Robin Hood robbing the hood.
you're stopping us from trading.
Don't quote Hassan on this podcast.
Oh my god.
I like
That's-
Hassan.
Yeah,
Oh,
I do
boy.
too, but he has no place here unless he
Also,
likes to
that's
come on the show.
certainly not
Yeah,
his
you
quote.
should not have said that.
That's certainly not his quote. Number one. Number
No.
two.
That was just because I watched the one clip for the test recording.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he said.
First thing, not his quote. Somebody else said that.
Somebody else said that.
No.
Number two,
Brandon.
this is not plagiarism. It's a turn of phrase. You can use them. It's the language. This is how we function
Wow, so much for Robinhood.
in a society. Robbing the hood.
Yeah. Yeah, Pete. Says a lot about our society.
What? That the way that we communicate is by imitating each other's communication style?
But on
Holy
the-
shit.
Oh
On
my-
the other
We're
hand-
blowing
Would you
this
believe it? But
wide
But on the other
open.
hand, Robinhood is literally closing out people's trades for them if they believe that they can't like fulfill the buy. So, you know, back to topic. Like you like that little topic switch?
It's a good one.
So Robinhood is not only stopping people from buying, they're stopping them from selling, they're stopping them from using their app to gain profits. That's like literally antithetical to a free market. If you're a company that's built on the poor people are going to be able to use Wall Street, we're going to, like, they're named Robinhood, right? They know what they're trying to do. But,
Steal from the rich.
But as soon as their pockets, which I've always said this, I don't think Robinhood is a great company. I don't think it's a smart business plan. I don't think I would never invest in it. But they realized that. They realized they would never be able to pay for this. They would never be able to afford a full-fledged version of their company. So they're like a liquidity crisis. They would have no way to pay these people back. They realized that their business doesn't work. They have a dumb business.
Wait a
That's what
minute.
they realized.
Wait a minute. My brother comes up to me and says, "Hey, I should check out this Robinhood app." And
It's a
it
bad
says
business.
$5 free in stock. These guys are giving this stuff away. What is like
Exactly.
what was their margin when they said, "Yeah, we'll just give $5 to anyone who gets the app"?
Well,
I can
okay,
tell you.
so there is a economic like theory there, right?
Mhm.
So if an individual is given a stock, the likelihood is that they won't just sell it and take that money, right? $5 is not enough to just sell it and take that money.
It's like gambling.
So what? Yeah, it's like a casino giving you $50 of free chips. You know, like you could win a little bit with that, but you're definitely gonna buy more. You know, and you'll probably lose it all to the house. So that's the same theory that Robinhood, you know, goes off of. They're the house, and we are the casino goers, and they're like, yeah, here's $5 free. Start, you know, fucking pulling the lever and do the slot machines, and eventually they'll profit off of that. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah, this is what I was gonna say in response to that in one sentence. The house always wins.
Yeah.
I own the chips.
Yeah, if I own the chips and like, yeah, if you're, no one is just gonna take a $5 stock and sell it. That's gonna end up profitable for them in the long run. Jack
I don't know if I've said this on the podcast already, but it's like Robinhood still owns the stock. Like,
Yeah,
if I give you a $5 free stock and you never use it, it's mine,
yeah,
and I can use it.
Yeah.
So, a complete broken business. I've always thought that. I've never believed in Robinhood. But not only is business freaking out, not only are the CEOs like Leon Cooperman freaking out, we've got actual government officials responding to this now. One of the main ones, who of course was on CNBC, like where most of these interviews were, Bill Gavin, the Massachusetts Secretary
Massachusetts,
of Massa Blue Blitz,
Massachusetts. It's not that hard.
mash 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 mash.
Come on, Brandon.
The
let's get
secretary.
one.
This is a
Let's get one.
professional podcast.
Let's get one.
This is
Let's get one Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
there. You go. Perfect.
Massachusetts. Shit.
Do you remember
Massachusetts.
when we did voice and diction?
Oh, he's calling out my college credentials now.
Yeah. Stick to it.
You're right. So we have a Massachusetts Secretary of State, Bill Gavin. He called for a 30-day.
Fucking killed it that time, by the way.
He called for a 30-day suspension of all GameStop stock trading.
30 days.
You know, he's just a state Secretary of State. I don't know.
I think Jack Tarman was saying this. That would just kill the company. 30-day suspension of all trades would just kill the company.
Yeah, free market my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't save anybody. And
Yeah.
would I be able to like sell my stocks for the price I got it, or would I now have to sell my stocks at zero? Right?
Well,
That's the
you
second
wouldn't need to
question.
sell your stock if the company goes bankrupt. You just lose money.
But but this is probably like the same guy who is in favor of a free market, in favor of all of these the status quo, you know, everything business as usual how it's always been. And now, like we've said a few times already, when people who have been, you know, systematically forced out of these systems like Wall Street and just wealth accumulation in general, once they start getting back at it in any way possible, even if it might be nefarious in some ways, it pisses them off.
Yeah.
It's another example. And it pisses them off so much that they're willing to go as far as to say that you shouldn't be allowed to trade stock on this company for 30 days. Like we already said, this money is real. People really put money in. GameStop really has $32 billion in its pockets now, or not in its pockets. I still don't exactly get how a stock correlates to the pockets, but GameStop could use this momentum for a real purpose. Therefore, there is real value there.
Yeah.
When people are like, GameStop hasn't done anything, there's no reason for. The value is there because I gave it value. That's the basic like theory of just like free market capitalism. Like if I want to pay, and like the availability and the actual like ability to fulfill my wishes and that kind of thing. But like
Supply and demand.
if I want to pay $50 for that, that's $50, and then it changes if they're willing to fulfill the supply, fulfill the demand.
Yeah. Well, you're the supply. Or no, you're the demand.
Yeah.
They're the supply.
Yeah. But still, like my demand sets the price.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what's happening with this stock right now. Obviously, is it's like there's just an insane demand for, an arbitrary reason, but a reason enough, I guess. Um,
The momentum itself is the reason, and if that's valid or not, it's still up in the air.
well, I mean, it's the same
I-
conversation people have about like cryptocurrency, right? It's like it's so volatile. Like there's no actual meaning behind it. There's no backing up of it. It's just the value that the consumer gives it, right?
Yeah.
So it's the kind of the same.
And that's the main
situation.
thing with this, this new age of the fiat currency, right? We kind of talked about that one episode.
currency,
we,
yeah.
we, like for a long time, and how all of this is, no longer based in the gold standard, that kind of thing. Changes
Yep.
things. So I wanted to move on into specific, because I think this part is really insane when you figure out who is exactly affected by these losses. So in total, hedge funds that were invested in these companies like GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, in total, according to CNBC, they in total lost $70 billion
On the short though, they weren't invested. So the nomenclature of that, sorry, Brandon. So they lost $70 billion on the short. So they didn't actually own any of that stock.
Like they're the borrowing and like that.
Well,
is that what you mean?
No, I mean like. So as I was talking about with shorting,
Yeah.
you don't own the stock, you sell the stock.
Yeah.
So like
Oh yes.
those
right,
individuals
right.
sold $70 billion worth of stock hoping to short it to cut a profit.
And
and then
instead,
now
it became 70 billion in losses
Yes.
instead of whatever profit they were imagining.
yeah, well, it probably wasn't actually 70 billion in stock. It was a different number. I'm sorry. I'm confusing it, but essentially they offloaded their stock in GameStop, AMC, whatever it is, on the short, and
Yes.
then they lost 70 billion as a result of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And one of the main companies that was invested, one of the main companies you'll see in the headlines is a company by the name of Melvin Capital.
Yeah.
It's a hedge fund. It's also one of those hedge funds, like I was mentioning earlier, that people have their pensions wrapped around and all sorts of insurance and that kind of thing. And I was super surprised by this today. Like this all came out today that these companies that I'm about to get into are all connected and they're all working together, owned by the same people to defend themselves from the losses that they created by this massive short. So, and some could say this is conspiracy. Some could say this is not proven. I have sources. I'm sure Peter. What'd you think? What'd you think when I saw? What'd you think when you saw that section? It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, so I've heard this from I talked to some of my friends who are a little bit more like financially capable than I am.
Hey, shout out
in the market.
Unnamed source. I hope you watch us. Shout
yeah.
out. I heard you made some monies. Hey, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, what they were saying was that so there were like three brokers involved, right? The hedge funds
Brokers,
involved.
Yeah.
3 different hedge funds, right?
Mhm.
And like one was shorting like those companies, and the other one was like invested in that hedge fund,
Yes.
invested in that hedge fund, in like a whole train.
Yes.
And then the third hedge fund is like heavily invested and involved with Robinhood. Is that what you're going to talk about?
yes.
Okay. That sounds I'm skeptical of that.
It's
But
a little too convenient.
If it's true, that would be crazy. So I want you to say it.
Vertical monopolies, baby.
Yeah, I want you to say it.
So, since you explain it like that, I think it's going to be easier for me to explain it and a little quicker. So, it's reported that Melvin Capital, after they took, massive losses, after this became a huge scandal, a company by the name of Citadel Securities decided to bail Melvin Capital out with $3 billion alone, I'm sure. And of course, you might ask, why? I don't know why. You just that's weird. No one will know the answers. No one can ever know intent and that kind of thing. But there must be a reason for Citadel to want to bail out that company.
Yeah.
The broker, the hedge fund, whatever it is. So you look more into Citadel and you find out that half of Robinhood's revenue, which is another reason why I would never mess with Robinhood. Half of Robinhood's revenue does not come from like dividends on trades or whatever.
Yeah, or taxes on the trades or whatever.
This is all new information to me. According to Bloomberg, half of Robinhood's revenue comes from selling trade data to companies like Citadel Securities. And I said companies like Citadel because they did name another one. So I'm sure it's like half is split up between the two of them, so it's not a full half. But a large funder, and also I could even go as far once it's that much revenue, is a stockholder, a stakeholder in Robinhood is Citadel Securities, the same company that backed up Melvin Capital.
Yes.
So the vertical monopoly comes in when Citadel, the center of the story now, seems like it owns a company that profits off of stocks that they trade normally. And then they also, Citadel also owns a company that trades stocks and has a ton of trading data. So this one company is duly invested in the information. They get all of these trade information data that people, what are people buying? What are people selling? Where are things going? Like literally that. Citadel is a company that like manages those trades. So they use that information, and they also have a subsidiary, Melvin Capital, where they make money off of the information that they gain and all of the capital that's just free in Citadel. So they have information. They use that information to design their business. And then they have their actual, I'm sure Melvin Capital is the real business, right? And then that's where you get your little profits. That's business in America right there. You buy every single avenue of the easiest way for me to explain this is like
you bought. I mean, so they bought information collecting, the actual trading, and the distribution of the trades. They have all three things.
Yes. It'd be like if I was a music company and I buy the studio and I buy MTV and I buy you. So I got the moneymaker, I got the distribution, and I got the. We did it. You said it. The way you said it was perfect.
Yeah.
It's that they buy everything, they own everything. So there's no way for you to avoid like Robinhood, because why is Robinhood so big? How did Robinhood get so popular?
Ads.
Because they're funded by this gigantic company. Who knows if it's true? All of that was on Bloomberg. Hey, that's that rich people website. That's not even one of my socialist websites. That's Bloomberg.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, that's pretty crazy.
And that's not exactly even the focus of the investigation.
No.
That's
I mean, people are talking about like trying to get the investigation and put it on like the Redditors and like that kind of stuff too. So
Yep. Yeah. So like, and there's no real signs of which way it'll go yet.
Yeah.
There's just a lot.
And the legality of it is very gray. Like, we're not actually certain of the legality of some of the things that have been happening with the company, with the Redditors, with, all the individuals in this.
Like we've explained, it's justifiable, but in a court of law,
Yeah.
And these are things that have happened before, but it's a different case. Like, I really don't think anything like this has happened before.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, so like, insofar as the legality of it, do you like think it matters whether or not what Robinhood did in the stopping of the trades or the connection with the other brokerage companies and like, do you think any of that, like, even if it is illegal, does it matter?
I don't think it'll be the focus of any case. I don't think it'll be as important as what the people did, like the gathering and like the collective effort to trade. Like, I don't think the actual facilitating of those trades is under investigation.
Well,
but they're actually people
even further than that, though. Like, say there was an investigation, and then there was a crime that was found, and then there was a charge, and then they were found guilty.
Okay.
All of those things, suppose that happens. Would it even matter to a company the size of these companies, comparative to the losses they would have incurred had they let GameStop continue trading, to the legal fees that they may have to pay as a result of a crime that they may have committed?
You want my personal opinion, Pete?
What?
I think they're going to try and sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
some of
right
this
now
is.
I see it. It's like they want to point fingers
This
so that
would be
it gets
sweeping it under
directed
the rug,
away
though.
from them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, if they have to pay fines, if some of their heads go to prison or whatever it is, like, will that even matter? Would that change anyone's like view on what happened? Would it stop them from doing it in the future?
No,
I don't think that it would.
The reward is worth too much.
Yes.
Um,
That's my point. Is that even if there is some illegality with this, and even if there is some sketchiness with this, it like our justice system is not strong enough to bring down a multi-billion dollar company like that. It's
Yeah.
not like you. The most you're gonna get is a couple $100,000 in fucking legal fees.
and you can never there's a big fear of like prosecuting a company into bankruptcy. Like some people are for that, some people are against that. I don't know if it's applicable here. Like I said, I don't think Robinhood is exactly wrong for facilitating the trades. I don't think they're wrong for stopping the trades. I think it's antithetical to any, thing that they would say in favor of like a free market and being in favor of the little guy trader, being in favor and being like an opportunity for upward mobility. I think that like totally like loses all credibility. They're actually trying to sue. People are trying to sue Robinhood for this, which we'll see. It's going to be a class action lawsuit, so it won't be like anybody's going to be making like a big payout. And we still don't even know if people are going to make their money back or not. This is still Thursday. This has been happening this week. Like there's a live stream right now with AOC. Like they're talking about this right now. Just a bunch of left-leaning people trying to figure out what exactly is the left response to this. So I think everybody should probably check that out because I definitely will. I just think that this shows like just the new era we're moving into too. Like even if nothing happens legally, if we do it again to another company that like decides to like hurt the markets or hurt people, like maybe this is even the beginning of like a boycott movement or like a general strike movement where people are actually comfortable in saying F hedge funds, F the billionaires, Like that's what this week has been.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and I was saying before the show too, like if this does become the norm, if individuals, even just groups of hundreds, start collectively buying things like this, that could change that could be a paradigm shift for the whole market economy.
It would be a check on capitalism.
It's a positive check too, because it's the people who are actually involved in the capitalist part of like the system. It's the buyers, it's the consumers. That's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We're the important part. It's not the producers. Like the producers wouldn't exist without us.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Oh, sorry, producers.
The producers.
I meant producers of. You know what? Honestly, fuck the Jacks. Okay, I'm saying it right now.
You know what? We're running on an hour, so I'm gonna say wrong.
Okay,
You're wrong.
So we also have a little extra credit story here about a very famous American character. I do want to keep it a little short because I did mention it.
What's with the interesting, like American characters that just totally swindle the stock market, getting it,
Right?
and they're all usually kind of white.
Yeah, so
and then they get movies made about them. And
this
Leo plays you.
individual
So
is named
true.
Michael Burry. Some of you may know him from The Big Short, which was a movie made 5-6 years ago about the 2008 stock market crash and the stockbrokers and hedge fund managers who shorted the housing market shortly before it crashed, made billions. Michael Burry himself actually made $714 billion in like 3 days when the stock market crashed. Yeah.
I'm counting to 714 billion. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
I count.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fucking 19-hour
But
podcast
it's
now.
crazy that guy has again found himself in the middle of another scandal.
Yeah.
And this is coming out today from Forbes. His hedge fund called Scion Asset Management spent $15 million in stocks on GameStop earlier this year when it was super low, which is just a credit to his insane market knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't find it from the article; he just saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, so he bought stocks between $2 and $4 for 15 million in total, and his play was to convince GameStop to use its cash on hand, which wasn't that much, back to that $300 million amount. His plan was to convince GameStop to use its cash to buy back stock at a lower price.
Yeah.
GameStop, at the urging of investors like Michael Burry, has bought back stock at about $200 million in price since 2019, which pretty much lowers its price by about 38%. And then,
No, not its price. The amount of shares that are available.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay. So Burry actually did not end up keeping his very, 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 very profitable shares.
So sad.
Yeah, he actually came out and got really mad about this whole thing this week. He was really mad. He was calling people stupid, just the classic things. They don't know what they're doing. They're betting randomly. They got lucky. And what you find out that it's because he personally lost out on this stock. So he's personally offended.
Yeah.
So we've gone through people who are offended because they lost their wallet, they lost their job was affected. He's emotionally affected because he was on it. He was on the money and he was like, "Oh, I got it wrong." He sold his stocks September 30. 3 months later, those $3 stocks are worth $300, and you, Michael Burry, got screwed just like you screwed the housing market, and we did it to you, so you deserve it, and we won. Oh, I'm working on it. Hey. It's all true. It's all true. It's all true.
Yeah. How much did he lose? Or how much would
well,
he have made?
If he had 15 million in $3 stocks way early, there's a lot of different percentages, but the article from Forbes said that he was expected to make $1 billion of his $15 million investment. So I would be mad too, but you've gotten lucky way too much. Way too much.
Okay, so why does it matter, Brandon? Why does this matter? What does it
Way
matter
too
for
much.
what could this mean for the future?
We've definitely said it a lot, but I think this is just a wake-up call to people that they do have power. There are moral ways of wealth accumulation where if you get your money up and invest in the stock market and use your money for good causes and giving the voice to the people and allowing people who aren't interested in wealth accumulation and selling their souls to the stock market like these Wall Street bets people definitely have, right? There's justifiable and there's just causes for everybody. So I think this is beautiful. Like it's very, very inspiring.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed watching, in the research, just watching people react to it and like how crazy it is.
It revved me up and it revved everybody up. Like just seeing it that it was possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
And now we know.
like seeing Trump lose. Like,
And if you
we
don't
could do it.
know, now you know.
All right.
We almost went through an entire episode without mentioning Trump, just until the end.
I did it.
No, that's wrong. I brought him
did
up
it.
earlier.
said wrong.
It's very wrong.
But we beat him. We
Get those hands off. Get those hands out of there. Oh, Brandon.
I've ranted enough.
All right, well, you want to do milk?
Let's do milk. Let's
Okay.
Let's do it.
So this is great. So this story right here is explicitly written down for the purposes of pissing off Jack Tunney,
Producer,
the producer extraordinaire.
man, fuck the Jacks.
This
That's not nice.
side of the table is revolting.
This is a garage.
this is a
foldable, sir. This is a Wendy's. But yeah, the Buccaneers defeated the Packers
the what?
in the. The Buccaneers defeated the Packers.
Yeah, Brandon, sport ball.
For a place in the Super Bowl, confirming that Tom Brady is the GOAT.
I'm going to stop you right there, Cotton.
Cotton.
I'm just kidding. Tom Brady has once again shown that he loves football more than anything else, and he's proved that his ability, even at his age, because people love to say, quarterback's getting old. You know, his mental is still there, and you need to respect it. I respect him for that. I still love Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is probably one of the funnier comedians in the league. He's a comedian. He says some funny stuff sometimes, but when he gets mad and like, you know, and stuff like that, I can't get mad at him. But
Yeah.
long story short,
what do you think about the
Chiefs.
fact that the Buccaneers will be hosting the Super Bowl? First time in NFL history that a team will be hosting the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and people tell me the NFL isn't scripted. Yeah, you could try that on me, but
okay.
Oh, I see why you're
gonna
mad.
you're gonna have to work real hard.
It's the Super Bowl game. This
It's
is a
the
big
Super Bowl.
deal.
Brandon, it was the game before the Super Bowl.
This is
Yeah. Well, they're NFC, right?
It was NFC.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost February. It's
So
almost
here's
Super
the
Bowl
thing.
time.
It's been a long time since Tom Brady's played against Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship, and I'm mad.
Was it a good game though?
Well, that last minute was pretty
oh my
rough.
gosh. Yes.
Yeah,
I
there was a
totally
lot of
remembered what I wanted to say.
There were
and I'm gonna
flags
say it
in that
real quick
last
so
2
we can
minutes.
get out of it. Long story short, the refs weren't in the stadium until 2 minutes before the game ended.
Yeah,
What?
and then there were 3 fouls called.
Yeah, and then
Hey, wait.
no, that's
what?
a joke, Brandon, because
Oh.
because the referees decided they wanted the guys to just play.
You know
They
me
didn't-
just
they
looking
didn't
for
wanna call.
controversy.
Well, yeah, they didn't want to call. They didn't want to call stuff, even if it was like a little bit. But I personally think that's BS because if a hold that you don't call causes an interception, you know that's way different than when the game is on the line. and
Yeah,
so-
they
and
were
something
they were
small
a touchdown
happens.
away. There was a 6-point differential between them, right? So all
Long story short, the Packers hesitated. I will never forgive them for that, but I hope they do better next season. Let's go, Pack.
Oh boy.
He's still a fan.
Yeah,
He's
that
still
was
a
the
fan.
fan
Oh, I
energy.
bleed green and gold, baby.
Yeah, that's
I,
right.
I lived there. I
That's
know
right.
how it feels.
So you'll be back for next season. You'll be there.
Yeah, man. Just keep Aaron Rodgers. Pay the guy $3 more million. The guy deserves it.
Okay.
Jack Tunney is lovable because he has more than one Packers outfit.
Indeed.
Very indeed.
Yeah.
That's
My
good
my
stuff.
family doesn't know what to usually buy me for Christmas or
So you just get Packers
birthday. So they
Packers
just
stuff.
they go to the pro shop and send me whatever, and I love it.
Where's your cheese hat, Jack Tunney?
Only people from Milwaukee wear the cheese hat. Actually, that's an interesting thing people don't understand. If you're living in Green Bay, you do not own a cheese head unless you don't respect yourself. Sorry, I had to think about the word there.
That's like a breaking news fact in the milk.
Yeah, sorry. That's just coming from the guy who lived there and the people who because whenever you go anywhere, it's like
I like how people get mad about
you're
it.
a
It's only
oh,
people from Milwaukee wear the fucking cheese hats.
that's not it. It's just a joke because anytime you tell somebody you're a Packers fan, anytime you tell them you're a Packers fan and they want to they want to have some malintent, they say, "Oh, you're a cheesehead." And I go,
so it's like a
yeah, it's like an insult in a way,
okay.
but it's low because they're like, "Oh, you guys wear cheese on your head." And it's like, yeah, we also don't have an owner.
yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, it's kind of jealousy.
it's like the whole town owns the team, so like, I guess you're jealous.
Aw. Well, I'm certainly not jealous of any football teams. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely not.
But
I'm jealous of the employee owned co-op nature of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the only reason it is a spot for controversy is because there
of
isn't
course.
an individual who runs all of the financial, like dealings, and they
Mhm.
don't have the strings to pull behind the scenes to make things happen.
we're
It's
going to do a
just
whole NFL segment here
it's
now.
it's a whole group of guys that try to make it work in a communist setting. But long story short, go Pack.
Now the NFL is a communist organization. You heard
No,
it here
I'm
Well,
first.
he
saying-
said they're surrounded by
No, I'm saying
controversy
no,
because
I'm
of
saying
it.
the Packers are
Oh,
more
the
communist
Packers
than
are
any others because
Wow.
they don't have an owner.
okay. Wow.
It's all owned in stock, interestingly enough, by the team. Or I'm sorry, by teammates and also by everyone who lives in Green Bay. My family, and I at one point had a part of the Packers.
Wow.
Damn, I should probably like short them.
Nope, their stock is worth nothing. It's
Exactly.
Not,
I'm
it
a
is
short
not
them.
worth
I'm a
the
short
money.
them.
It is cents on the cent.
See how I tied it back?
Okay, so let's go.
Good job, man.
We got another. This is kind of more of a question. Would people be interested in us playing D&D as a group?
Jack Tarman is writhing in his seat. He is excited.
Yeah.
I did not see this on the
Oh,
script.
we just
and
knocked
I
the
am,
camera.
Oh man, I'm sorry. There's so much excitement coming from me. I'm just brimming with it.
Yeah, no. So
Please say yes.
if you guys think that's a good idea, we might give it a try.
The only way I'll play D&D is if it's on video.
Okay. Well, that's the answer right there. We're probably gonna be doing it then.
It would definitely be entertaining,
Yeah, I think it would be.
and if we took it seriously.
Yeah, you got to take it seriously. That's you got to really put yourself into it, really role play. We've been playing a little D&D just like in general. So we considered it. And we like a lot of the YouTubers that do like the D&D podcasts and stuff. Shout out Critical Role.
Fantastic. I love them all. It's a great show.
No, I like the idea because it'd be like a creative. Like,
Yeah, it's a
show.
creative side of it. It's like
We've got the pod, which is like commentary. We've got our new show, Brown Bag Politics. Which
Check it
you should
out.
Check out. Which is gonna be like our theory show for the educational peeps.
yeah, we do a little creative thing. Maybe we get some skits going. I'm
Yeah.
really just trying to do. I'm trying to do it all.
Yeah, we're gonna do way too much. That's one
You
thing
guys
you
are only
can
gonna
keep-
like a third of it, but
you can be for sure that we're gonna do way too much.
yeah, yeah.
But,
Throw it
um,
against the wall theory.
Yeah,
see what sticks.
sticks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. All right, gentlemen. Well, that's the milk.
I'm listening.
This was a good show. I like talking about financial stuff as much as it can be high frequency, a little boring, but it's a good subject. I think Brandon, you did a pretty good job
No,
on
no,
this.
We had good energy.
Good energies all around.
We did it. We did that.
Oh,
Another episode. What is this? Episode 14?
13.
Oh boy.
The big 1-3.
Uh-oh.
Big B.
Reddit going down.
Yeah.
Oh, anything else? Any last words?
Yeah.
You gotta
Just some
do
thank yous.
thank yous.
Thank you, producers. Jax.
Thanks to the producers.
Yeah, not accepted.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Sure,
Brandon.
Take it. I'll take it.
Jack Tarman will take it, and I'll take it from Jack Tarman.
Oh, you're gonna. So now Jack Tarman has nothing.
He's shorting me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used see this, Pete. I used a middleman to get what I wanted.
That's right. That's right. You guys learned something this episode.
No, no joke. I think we did learn something.
Yeah, I think we did too. It is a good episode. Thanks to you,
Yeah.
Brandon.
You know,
Thank you, Brandon.
Bring me. Brandon.
let's kill this thing.
Yeah. It's dead.
Don't forget to get a like, comment, subscribe, click the bell.
Ring that bell.
No,
Oh wait,
that's a
no.
demand, actually.
Really ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
because,
Ring the bell.
We're trying to get the upload schedule very succinct. So-
Precise.
You'll get way more
precise.
notifications.
I was trying
Joe.
to say precise, and then I
Succinct.
succinct.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll be back soon. We'll be back next week. We love y'all. Take it easy.
You guys
In the verse.
have a PB&J week.
Bless up.
Bless up.